Day 3 of transforming my money story. If you follow the first 2 days, you know that I have always struggled financially, no matter how much money I had. Whether I was homeless as a refugee, being part of a refugee convoy, or living in refugee camps, or if I was making $45,000 a month, I always found a way to stay poor. And as of last Thursday, which was my birthday, which was just 2 days ago, I have decided that I am no longer going to be poor. Going forward, I am going to be financially secure. So that is what this year is all about. If you follow along for the next 12 months, you will see me and hopefully yourself transform completely from always finding a way to be broke. Man, there's a little fly right in the camera. All the way to being financially secure. So let's do this. The very first thing that we are doing right now is just digging up, rooting up all the stories that have told us why we should stay poor. If you watched yesterday's video, I talked about my own parents and how poor they were and what led them to being poor all the way until my father's death. Please feel free to watch that video. Today, as I was drinking my coffee this morning, I was thinking about it a lot. You know, whatever you focus on, you end up getting a lot more of it. So this week I'm focusing on digging up my stories so they just kind of get served to me. And this morning I was thinking about how, you know, I was born in a family that, as you know now, my parents were very poor, and the rest of my family, they were always selling land and crops and livestock, so they always found a way to look good, to look wealthy, right? There were a lot of beautiful houses and just buildings in general within our family compound, but within the walls, there was barely any food to be eaten. And so I grew up in an environment where poverty was just a way of life. Then my community, you know, because of the way that Bosnia is set up, in most cases, when a boy grows up, he just gets married and his wife moves in with him and his family. And, you know, most people just don't move. It's not like United States where people here, you know, they're just moving. They got a new job, or they want to deal with less snow or less humidity or less dry heat or whatever it is. You just sell your house, pick up, leave, and move your family to place that suits you better. In Bosnia, that just isn't the case. For the most part, wherever you are planted, that is where you grow. Most people marry kids or girls or guys within the same neighborhood or city, because people just don't travel as much as we do here in the United States. So not only was my family of origin very poor, but my community, my street, everybody knew everybody knew everything about everyone, and everybody knew who was married to whom and all of their background. It's just communities are there to help you out, but they're also there to know all of your business. So I just remember nobody really having any goals or plans for life or anything. Every day people went to work. Most men worked, most women didn't. It was very rare to have a family with two incomes. So within the community, everybody just kind of lived day by day. Not much was happening. People were not planning anything big. And then when the war started in 92, because my family at large had a very strong presence in the city, and my mother had a very bad reputation within our family and therefore in the city. And having been raised by her, because my dad was dead, I just remember always being an outsider. I watched my extended family do whatever they did. They didn't get along with my mother. My mother was this perpetual victim. And then the people in the neighborhood, they didn't really like us being around them. They didn't really want us going to their houses. They kind of tried to stay away from us and from my immediate family. So we were just kind of always there, but not really involved in the community. And I remember when the war started and all the men were lined up and put in concentration camps. All of my friends, all of my neighborhood friends, and their moms were all of a sudden suffering just like us, just like my little family. And that actually made me feel good. It made me feel like I belong. It was finally like we're all united, we're all suffering equally. I no longer stand out. And my mother was accepted within the community, so we were all part of this refugee convoy and prisoners of war and all these things. We were all going through all the same hardships together, and I finally thought that I was an equal to all the other people. And as I became an equal, I didn't want to separate from them. It just felt so good to be part of a community. And it's really hard to say that about a war because you don't really think about anything positive in a war, but some positive things did happen to me in a war. So fast forward 30 plus years later, every time I go to Bosnia, I don't want to stand out. Even though I live in this beautiful, powerful, incredible land of opportunities, and I have the resources and everything that I need to actually be a very wealthy woman, which I hope you do as well. I have this fear that when I go to Bosnia, which I do pretty much every summer, I do not want to separate from that community. When I go there and I see all of these people, I want them to say that, hey, even though Alma does live in America, she still leads a perfectly normal life that just kind of like our life here. And we love her because she belongs to us. This is the truth. This is part of why I haven't allowed myself to get any wealthier, to be any more financially stable, because if I did, I would stand out. Thanks to Facebook, right? People can see what's happening in your life, and or any other social media. I would stand out, and that would separate me from the community that actually finally felt like home to me when I was 12 years old. So that 12-year-old still runs my life. So there it is. This is my discovery on day 3. So my call to you is to get curious. If you did your assignment from yesterday, get curious today. Where else did you feel good and safe, or taken care of, or loved, or felt special? Something happened at some points in your life where you just couldn't do more, couldn't do something bigger, and began self-sabotaging. And tomorrow I'm going to talk about self-sabotage. It is a real thing, at least for me, which just kind of blows my mind right now. So that is my invitation for you to just dig up or write down all the times when you felt good for not standing out, for not doing something different, for not being a go-getter, for not going after it. It doesn't even have to feel good. Maybe you felt safe, right? Just like for me, it felt safe because when bombs are exploding and grenades are flying and bullets are flying all around you, you seek safety, and I sought safety in the community, and I never wanted to separate myself. So that is my encouragement to you on this beautiful day 3. I will be back tomorrow.